from the PGA Championship, we turn to the high-energy, rock and roll loud setting of NASCAR. It's the 2-mile Michigan International Speedway about to come alive with the NASCAR Busch Series Napa Online 250. Are you ready? Drivers, beware. Ready or not, the NASCAR Busch Series has a new dominator. While many rivals have been left in a cloud of smoke,
Kevin Harvick loves this car. They call it the Punisher.
this young gun just keeps on rolling. The series point leader has set the standard and is ready for more in Michigan.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double shot inside.
TNT Sports presents NASCAR. It's the Napa Online 250 from the Michigan International Speedway. Located 70 miles southwest of Detroit, this 2-mile oval is fast but forgiving. A driver's favorite, it's a place where they can race door-to-door at lightning quick speeds in the backyard of the American auto manufacturers who play such an important role in their futures. Alan Bestwick here. We'll talk with Benny Parsons and Wally Dallenbach in a moment. First, let's swing through pit road. Here's Matt Yoakum.
25-year-old Kevin Harvick enters Michigan first in points and first in the win column this season with 4 victories. He has 3 career starts at Michigan in 3 different series, never finishing worse than 11th. Kevin, how do you rate your chances on giving RC his 100th career win as a NASCAR owner today?
Well, hopefully our chances are pretty good for 100 and 101, but right now the task at hand is just try and get everything we can out of this AC Delco car today and make sure we finish the race. But I'd rate the chances as fair.
The odd years have been very productive for the AC Delco colors. Steve Park and Dale Earnhardt Jr. won here in 97 and 99. Harvick starts 7th, trying for the odd year three-peat. Today, Burns.
Matt, Greg Biffle is chasing Kevin Harvick in the points, and here at Michigan Speedway, he has had 2 truck races and 2 victories, plus a 2000 Truck Series championship. He loves this place, so why did he qualify 16th? Let's ask him. Greg, 16th place, outside row 8 for starting. What happened in qualifying?
Well, it's just the driver made a mistake. I just went down in the corner a little bit too hard into turn 1. The car pushed up real bad with the nose, and I had to wait to get back in the throttle, but we were a really good car, second fast at happy hour. We feel like we could move up pretty quick in the first 25 laps.
And perhaps to that perfect 3-for-3 win here at Michigan. Let's go to Marty Snyder.
Well, Dave, Kerry Earnhardt starts 19th today in Michael Waltrip's Chevrolet. Now, before you think Kerry's in this car, just as a favor to former car owner Dale Earnhardt, don't be so quick to make that assumption. You might remember just a few weeks ago here in June at Michigan, Kerry Earnhardt drove his car to victory lane through a talented field of ARCA cars. A tribute to his father after the race, holding the 3 out the driver's side window. And then in victory lane, his stepbrother Dale Earnhardt Jr. joining him there. What a big day it was for the Earnhardt family. And Kerry, can you make it 2 straight Saturday wins here at Michigan?
We'd sure like to. We're just mainly getting a feel of these Busch cars, and I've got comfort with the ARCA cars, which is a lot like the Race Cup cars. I'm just trying to get the comfort with these cars and like the track. We had a good happy hour yesterday, so we're real excited. And just looking for a good, safe, competitive finish. Win would be great.
And the win wouldn't be bad. In this car he's racing, finished 2nd here last year. He's got the equipment and the crew, but does he have the experience? That's the question Liz Allison will ask his car owner, Michael Waltrip.
And Michael Waltrip does own the car that Kerry Earnhardt's driving today. And of course, as we know, Kerry is the son of Dale Earnhardt. And Michael, Dale gave you a great opportunity in Winston Cup. And is that what this is all about today?
Well, we just, Kerry wanted a chance, and Ken Butler and all the folks at Aaron's are just into trying to grant people their dreams, let them live their dream. And so we got together and decided to put Kerry in the car and let him gain some experience. He was great in the first 2 races, getting a lot of track time, and that's what we need to do today, just get in this car, get some experience. He proved he knew what he was doing when he was out front. here in June. That was awesome when he won the race here then. But starting 19th, it's a real job to cut up through these guys. There are a lot of experienced race car drivers ahead of him, so Kerry's got his work cut out for him, but I know he's up to the task.
And chances of finishing up front today, what do you think?
I think they're good. The boys were real happy with the car. Bobby Kennedy, Glenn, all the guys. Jerry did a great job during happy hour preparing the race car. They said he was good during happy hour, and they promised me that nothing going wrong today, Kerry will get his best ever NASCAR Busch Series finish today in the Aaron's Dream Machine. So we're all pretty excited about our chances.
That's great, and we'll check in with you during the day. It's a good friend stepping in to help carry on the Earnhardt racing tradition. Alan?
Thank you, Liz. Weather conditions here in the Irish Hills of Michigan today, pretty nice. The forecast was pretty gloomy this morning. There's a big threat of rain, according to the meteorologist, but the sun is shining brightly now, and those changing conditions are giving crew chiefs fits as they try to set their car up for this 250-mile event. Drivers are ready to go racing at the Michigan International Speedway, but before the race begins, come the traditional opening ceremonies.
Motor Racing Outreach. Would you pray with me, please? Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us today to race. God, thank you for every sponsor and every fan that makes this race happen. We ask today that your hand of protection would be on every participant, crew member, and every fan today. Be with us and bless us in a special way. We give you the thanks, Father. Amen.
And ladies and gentlemen, for our national anthem, please welcome from Jackson, Michigan, MIS's own Maggie Meyer.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, race fans, to give those magic words of motorsports, Napa store owner Tom Meisel.
Welcome, race fans. On behalf of the over 6,000 Napa owners in America and the 13,000 auto care centers in America, we, the store owners of Michigan, welcome you to the NapaOnline.com 250 NASCAR race. Gentlemen, start your engines.
43 drivers are all cinched up and ready to go. Live coverage of the NapaOnline.com 250 from Michigan is next on TNT. The cars are rolling off from pit lane onto the Michigan International Speedway. NASCAR on TNT with the NapaOnline.com 250, the NASCAR Busch Series beginning the final third of its 2001 campaign. And welcome to our coverage today. Alan Bestwick here with Benny Parsons and Wally Dallenbach sitting around last night looking at the starting lineup for today's race, and BP, you found the top 10 kind of curious.
Oh, I loved it, Alan. Folks, just imagine, in top 10 positions, we have 4 experienced NASCAR Winston Cup drivers. Jimmy Spencer, Mike Skinner, Kevin LePage, and Kevin Harvick. We also have 4 Busch Series regulars: Jeff Green, Elton Sawyer, Tony Raines, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. Now, the other 2 cars, Ryan Newman starts second. He has 8 Busch Series starts to his credit. And Larry Foyt starts 5th. He has 22 Busch Series starts to his credit. It's going to be fun seeing exactly what happens.
So you're kind of thinking there's going to be some ducking and dodging in turn 1.
There just might be.
Yeah. Now, Wally, you were looking at the starting lineup and found row 1, Jimmy Spencer and Ryan Newman, to be one of those great racing ironies.
I think so. Last time these two were together was a couple weeks ago at Indianapolis. Down into turn 3, Spencer gives Newman a little tap. Newman winds up with a wrecked race car. So they're going barreling off into turn 1 here at Michigan, and we'll see who forgets what.
Yeah, Jimmy Spencer never forgets, remember. That was in the Winston Cup race a couple of weeks ago, and now they're back side by side to race off into turn 1. So that could provide a couple of humorous moments as well. Why don't we take a look at the Castrol starting grid for today's NapaOnline.com 250. 43 drivers are set to go racing here at the Michigan Speedway today. And let's take a look at them. Leading them down, Jimmy Spencer is on the pole for today's race. Spencer, 2-time winner in only 9 starts this year, and it's Newman alongside with his 5th front row start. Row number 2, Mike Skinner is back in competition after a month off due to injuries, and Kevin LePage, who says he has a potential winning car. Larry Foyt, best qualifying of the rookie's career in row 3 with Jeff Green, the defending series champion. Kevin Harvick is in row 4, 9th in this race last year in his only Michigan Busch Series start, and Elton Sawyer, the hottest driver on the circuit, with 7 top 10s in 8 races. Row 5. Tony Raines, who hasn't had a top 10 result the last 5 weeks, and Bobby Hamilton Jr., who makes his 75th Busch Series start. The 98 winner of the race is Jeff Burton. He starts in row 6 alongside the young Virginian Kevin Grubb. Row 7, it's Matt Kenseth, who finished 3rd here a couple of years ago, and David Green looking to better his best of the season, which is a pair of 6th place results. Jay Sauter and Greg Biffle share row number 8. Biffle with 2 Truck Series wins here in 2 tries. And back in row 9, Randy LaJoie, former series champion, and Kenny Wallace.
Well, let's try talking to Randy LaJoie. Randy, Benny Parsons, you read me? Randy LaJoie, this is Benny Parsons. Do you read me?
Clear, PP.
Okay, Randy, tell us how you're going to do it.
We can get these other 16 guys in front of me. They're going to part both sides. I'm going to go right up the middle.
Is that the plan? Now just tell them to get out of the way because you're coming through.
I'll throw some Kleenex out the window in case I go by them too fast. They want to cry.
Well, good luck to you, Randy.
Randy LaJoie, always good for some entertainment, isn't he? Back end of the field, some drivers struggling in qualifying. Also some new faces to the series. You see the veterans Rich Bickle and Shane Hall back in row 19. Brian Tyler is a local driver, making just his 3rd Busch Series start. He's in row 20 along with Alabama's Mike Harmon. A couple of former Winston Cup veterans, Derek Cope and Mike Wallace, struggling in qualifying, and A.J. Alsop, youngster from Mooresville, North Carolina, whose father Bill ran Indy cars here for many years, rounds out the field. We do have onboard cameras for you during today's race. After the problem with an onboard telemetry unit in Robbie Gordon's car at Watkins Glen last Sunday, changes were made to the battery system powering those units to ensure that a similar problem won't ever occur again, and the teams have accepted that hardware just as always. And you see some of the looks that we'll have during today's race here at Michigan. Jeff Burton's car, and let's get some final reports from pit road before we go green. Here's Marty Snyder.
Well, Alan, today is a critical day for Mike Skinner. Remember, he's been out of action for almost a month now. This is the first real test for his banged up left knee and left ankle. And as he just told me a little while ago, you know, I feel pretty good so far. If I can make it 250 miles today, I'll tough it out for 400 tomorrow. Today burns.
Marty, when your name is Foyt, you are expected to be a leader. And after a 32nd place finish at Gateway earlier this year, Larry sat the team down and said, look, guys, we can do this right, or we don't have to do this at all. The team responded. The engine shop responded. The body shop responded. And Larry himself responded with his best qualifying performance of the year, a 5th here today. Let's go to Matt.
Dave, defending series champion Jeff Green is banking on his versatility. 11 of his 12 career wins have come at different race tracks. His best finish here in the Irish Hills, 14th twice. Today he rolls off 6th, looking for his first win here in the shadows of the Motown. To Liz.
You know, Elton Sawyer has come on real strong in this season. He's in a car today that he has driven in 9 races this year, so newer is not always better. His best finish this year was 4th in Nashville. He starts 8th today. Alan?
Let's take a look at some storylines we'll be following through this afternoon's Napa Online 250. Kevin Harvick's opened up his championship lead over the last few weeks on Greg Biffle.
He has just been doing a fantastic job, not only Kevin, but Todd Berry and the entire team. It seems like that Kevin Harvick can be distracted by the NASCAR Winston Cup car that he runs on Sundays, but somehow those guys hold it all together. When he gets there, they're good to go.
And speaking of guys running on Sunday that are also running today, we've got 8 of them in the field.
And I believe that's going to be an advantage today, because a lot of these teams are having trouble finding the grip at this racetrack. I think it will really help these guys run today and then again tomorrow.
And fuel mileage. This race generally gets very few caution flags. It could come to factor into the winner of the afternoon's event. Here they come down to the green flag. 125 laps, 250 miles, and we're racing at Michigan. Forget about Spencer and Newman to turn 1. How about Mike Skinner?
3 wide. But that outside line has the momentum, and Spencer goes back in front.
Purple car on the outside is Larry Foyt. That's one of the youngsters without a lot of experience that Benny was talking about.
And he's the most nervous guy here, I'll guarantee it, because he's up here with all these guys, especially a lot of them up front, a lot of veterans on this series. He does not want to make a mistake.
And Ryan Newman is not trying to fall behind and grab Jimmy Spencer. He still continues to try to pass him. Oh, and Spencer goes up the hill. Here comes Skinner on the inside. And Ryan Newman, 0-2, takes the lead.
Skinner, after a month off, with an air cast on his left ankle and some torn up ligaments in his left knee, out there racing for second with Spencer. And he's got it. Okay, so what did we learn there? Newman or Spencer weren't going to give in to each other, and they've carried that one over.
Oh, no, that's exactly right.
But I think Spencer was probably, he didn't mean to do that at Indy, and he was going to give Ryan plenty of room if that's what it came down to. And that's exactly what he did over in turn 2.
This is going on back for about 17th spot. Kerry Earnhardt, the middle car in that 3-way race.
Not where you want to be.
Ron Hornaday in 11, Jamie McMurray in 27. The 23 is Scott Wimmer. And it looks like Kenny Wallace in the white car in the middle.
Didn't have a very good turn 3.
No, he didn't.
Kevin Harvick outside of Mike Skinner trying to get third.
And I'll tell you what, you talk to the Busch guys in the garage here this morning, they said the 71 car, Kevin LePage, was very, very good in that final practice hour.
You'll see 2 really distinct lines here. You'll see guys running the high line, and then you'll see cars running right down on the bottom of the racetrack. If you've got enough motor, you can get the car to work down at the bottom. That's a good place to be.
Look at Greg Biffle, that red car on the bottom. He's already picked up 9 spots in the first couple of laps. Trying to make it 10 by getting by Elton Sawyer. On board Biffle. Here's third place.
Kevin LePage, that 71 car, trying to take it away from Kevin Harvick.
See, that's the problem. When you come off the corner on the bottom of the racetrack, that binds the car up, and it kills your RPM. If you're on the high groove, you keep your momentum better that way. So even though a car looks like he's going to be faster getting off the corner.
Oh, trouble. LePage is around. Right in the middle of the field. Gets hit. Biffle hit him. Second place in the championship. And Randy LaJoie just got hit. Five laps in, caution's out.
The saw's all ready. Get all the tape you can ready, okay?
That's ready, guys.
LaJoie was 15th.
Suspension's not too bad. Just gotta get the fenders off.
LaJoie was 15th at the time. Harvick was racing Kevin LePage for third place when Kevin went around. And Biffle had moved up to 7th right behind them.
And, you know, this is not what you would expect. We talked about the rookies up in the top 10.
Backed up the racetrack right in front of him, Randy.
The 71 car, Kevin Harvick, tried his best to turn under very quickly off turn 2. You ever see he's going to try just all of a sudden turn. Oh, Skinner gets in the left rear.
Oh. That's what did it, yeah.
Ah.
And it looked to me like, if we see that again, it looked like the 2 checked up. The 2 got a little bit loose. The 71 checked up, and the 21 ran into 71. Taking a look at it, I think that's what we'll see. And if not, you can call me a big dummy. Okay, watch the 2 car. See? That's already past that. We need to get a little bit earlier.
Watch Biffle come in. Just squeezed into the wall. Wow. Matt?
Moments ago, Kevin Harvick came on the radio and told us crew chief Todd Berry exactly what Wally Dallenbach just said. The 71 car of LePage came up behind him, got him a little bit loose, so he checked up, and that's what appeared to start Kevin LePage's bad day.
Good. I don't get to be called a big dummy.
Well,
so, okay, watch right here. See, the 2 car gets loose right there. 71 checks up. He goes to go underneath the 2 car, but Skinner's already there. And poor Biffle, I mean, he's just trying to get around that whole mess. He had nowhere to go.
And his car is just out of control right there.
And he backs up the racetrack in front of LaJoie.
Yeah.
Let's watch this and listen as Biffle comes along.
Second place man in the championship, involved in a crash early in the Napa Online 250 here at Michigan. As they came back around to the caution, here was Jeff Burton's look. Jeff Burton's look at the accident on the backstretch off turn number 2.
Outside. Clear out. Got one in front of you. Stay right in the middle. Stay in the middle. There you go.
That's a nice,
Jeff. Good job, man.
Nice thing about Michigan, you got all that asphalt in the back.
And Jeff Burton is running in 11th position after having ducked and dodged his way through the accident that has involved Kevin LePage, Randy LaJoie, and Greg Biffle. Don't miss the WUSA playoffs as the final 4 teams battle for a shot at the inaugural Women's Soccer Championship later today at 4:30 Eastern. The New York Power and the Bay Area Cyber Rays from San Jose, followed by the Philadelphia Charge at the Atlanta Beat, only on TNT. Cleanup continues on the backstretch, and so we'll take a break and come back for the restart. Ryan Newman is the leader early at Michigan. Back at the Michigan International Speedway, it's the Napa Online 250 for the NASCAR Busch Series under an early caution. A 3-car accident involving Greg Biffle, Kevin LePage, and Randy LaJoie. Mike Skinner's car involved in the contact that started the accident. He has come on to pit road for repairs. Let's check in on him.
And Alan, we can't understate the importance of aerodynamics at a super speedway like this. The guys spend hours massaging the fenders and quarter panels. And Mike Skinner said, I don't believe there's any of the right front fender touching the tire, so that's not our issue. What we need to do is we need to pop that thing back out, and we've got plenty of time with the field under caution. The team did that. They went out there with a baseball bat and a ball-peen hammer, and they got it hammered out about to the condition it was when he started this race. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Randy LaJoie has made several stops to pit road. Wally Rogers is his crew chief. Wally, you can obviously see the cosmetic damage, but what about the damage to the race car? Anything else?
No, that's nothing suspension-wise, just more cosmetic than anything else. Kind of needs cosmetic for here, so.
We were joking this morning about the bad luck this team has seen since its win at Daytona, and you really thought today would be the turnaround.
Yeah, I really did. We were good in practice. We've been pretty good since we've been here. I was really looking forward to this. I don't know. We just have to do the best we can today and go on to next week.
A tough day for the Kleenex Chevy, Alan.
Yeah, he's back in 40th position right now with the body all torn up just before we've even really gotten going. They have waved off the restart, so we got at least another lap of caution. Gonna take a break while we have the opportunity. Let's squeeze one in here. We'll come back for the restart in a minute. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Back in Michigan, getting ready for the restart in the NapaOnline.com 250. A number of teams have made pit stops under the caution, most of those in the back half of the field. Jason Keller, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Kenny Wallace among those who've been on pit road, and then some of the cars damaged in the accident, including Mike Skinner and Randy LaJoie.
That's not quite right back there. We might
probably see a black flag come out for. You're supposed to say Indian file until you get past the start-finish line.
Exactly. If you're going to pass someone, you have to do it to the right side of the vehicle. Cannot do it on the inside.
Ashton Lewis, 46 car, black flag, pass into the left, and the 72 car, AJ Alsop, black flag, pass into the left.
Guys, we keep telling you every race not to do that, right, Wally? Every race.
I can't say anything because
you've done it.
I've done it recently.
It's Ryan Newman, Jimmy Spencer, Kevin Harvick, then Jeff Green, Larry Foyt, still up in 5th, followed by Elton Sawyer, Tony Raines, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Burton's up to 9th, and David Green rounds out the top 10.
There you see Chad Little. I'm sorry, that's Larry Foyt in the 14 car. I got those two cars confused at IRP a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and you scared the daylights out of me at the time.
Well, it's not going to be as dramatic this time as it was at IRP.
Thank you. Elton Sawyer carrying the University of Michigan colors just about 40 miles or so from the big house. Had that car up at the media day for the Michigan Wolverine football team a couple of weeks ago.
What car is that low on the racetrack? Is that written?
That's the 46 car. Ashton Lewis just had the black flag put on it. Second place man in the championship in the garage, Dave Burns.
That is Greg Biffle. He just gets done conferring with Randy Goss. What did Randy tell you about the car now?
Yeah, we're done for the day, definitely. It's real unfortunate for the Granger team. The guys built me a really, really good car, and we were really going to the front. I was pretty excited about it, but some guys just got racy on lap 4 or 5 or whatever lap that was, and you know, the 71 got turned around, and I had nowhere to go. You know, I just feel bad for these guys. We had a good car. I qualified 16th, put us back there in that situation. You know, we'll just try harder next week.
All right, they have been trying hard. Unfortunately, the bad luck bug has bitten Greg again today.
Yeah, Greg came into today's race 163 points behind Kevin Harvick with 11 races to go. Now he's got 10 races to go, and he could be another 100 or so farther back.
Yeah, as far as the championship is concerned, that just might have taken his chances of winning that championship away. But I told Randy Goss and Greg Biffle that I would take them to dinner next Tuesday to my favorite restaurant, so that will ease his pain just a little bit. Not much, but a little bit.
Dinner on BP.
Dinner on BP.
Wow, that's big. Larry Foyt, 23rd NASCAR Busch Series start, running solidly. Here's Tony Raines being challenged by Matt Kenseth for 7th spot. Raines in the 33. And he's going to take 6th away from Foyt.
Well, he's going to try to. That's what you were talking about, Wally. That momentum that you get off the corner is so important.
Did you see how close they got together there on the straightaway? You know, sometimes, I don't know what it is, but it does make your car faster. If you get right on somebody's door, it seems like you pick up a little horsepower. It could be because that car's pushing the air around your car. But once you get that momentum, you need to peel away from that car as fast as you can, or you're going to pick up that, it's like an arrow wall that both those cars push when you go down the corner.
Here's Jeff Burton, the 98 winner, running back in 9th. Well, you talked about arrow push. Here, let's take a look at what that means in Michigan and how it affects these cars.
Yeah, really, the best place you want to be is when you're behind, you want to drop the left side of the car down just to the side there. That gives some air pushing down on your left front corner. If you don't have that, you have no air pushing on the nose, so you have no grip. But when you're down there underneath somebody a little bit, it's actually helping push that left front tire to the racetrack. It's helping turn the car.
This would be for 8th place.
About 6.5 seconds behind the leader, Ryan Newman.
And Jeff Burton is through. Kind of a big day for the Foyt family. Larry Foyt, his best ever Busch Series qualifying run. A.J. Foyt, the 4th, will make his USAC championship car, the dirt car, debut tonight in Springfield, Illinois, the same track that his grandfather, A.J., made his debut in 57 years ago.
And we see Kerry Earnhardt down pit road. Looks like changing tires, like maybe a flat tire situation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the right front tire is all torn up. Dave?
Yeah, right front tire, guys. It's bad. They had to come in and change it. And now they're waiting. A little confusion. But Kerry Earnhardt gets a new right front tire and heads back out.
These tires ought to make it turn better.
Kerry back in 41st position.
Until you get to the end.
And he's now a lap down.
All right, go hard. Stay below that yellow line.
Because here comes the leader, Ryan Newman, and that would put him 2 laps down.
2nd place, Kevin Harvick, inside of Jimmy Spencer. Beginning to work their way up into the back of the field and put some cars a lap down. Ryan Newman leads early in the Napa Online 250 at Michigan. NASCAR on TNT from the Michigan International Speedway. The 02 car is Ryan Newman, recent Purdue University graduate. Has just put Kerry Earnhardt a 2nd lap down, Kerry in the 99 car. Here's our Wendy's race menu. Look at what's coming up as we continue to follow the race for the championship on TNT and NBC. Next, right after our Busch Series coverage, it's NASCAR Happy Hour from here in Michigan. Tomorrow, we've got the Pepsi 400 for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. And then on Monday, new time for our encore presentation. It is at noon. NASCAR at noon Eastern and Pacific on TNT.
It'd be a lot easier for me to be up to see that one than it is at 11 o'clock at night.
So, can I correct my math from earlier?
Yeah, I said, surely A.J. Foyt is not that old.
I meant to say he made his debut at Springfield in 1957.
Oh.
And I think it came out as 57 years ago.
Yes.
I'm sorry, A.J. Too many numbers rattling around here. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to Kerry Earnhardt's car, Dave Burns.
Well, and Alan, remember, in NASCAR, there's only one tire manufacturer, that's Goodyear. And one thing they're most proud of is their interliners on tracks of a mile or larger. You can see on the tire here where the team has circled the cut. Of course, the tire blew out all along the interliner here, and this right here is the interliner. And I noticed the brand name on the interliner, Lifeguard, and it has saved lives over the years.
Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Spencer continuing to put a good fight in for 2nd spot. And yes, that interliner is named the Lifeguard. Those were developed back in the mid-1960s as a way at these giant super speedways where you're running so fast to save lives in the event of high-speed tire pressure losses.
And how they developed that inner liner, folks, race car drivers would go around the racetrack and run over boards with nails in them, with spikes in them, to puncture a tire and see if it worked. And they only destroyed about 2 or 3 race cars by blowing the entire tire and hitting the wall with that. So those guys, a huge debt of gratitude from a lot of drivers for developing those inner liners, the drivers that did that.
Well, Harvick keeps trying Spencer. Harvick in the 2 and Spencer in the 1. He keeps trying him to find a way around for second spot.
They're running 2 totally different lines here. Well, they have been anyway in turns 3 and 4. Spencer's been running that high line, and the 2 cars been running that low line. Here you go. Jimmy's way up top. He keeps that car rolling a little bit quicker on that high line. But if you got a good car, it just feels good down there on the bottom. It's just it shows up when you get off the corner. Usually the car higher is going to be faster down the straightaway.
2 cars out of the race. Greg Biffle, we talked to a moment ago. Let's hear from the other driver. Kevin LePage is with Liz.
Kevin LePage, you had an awesome car today, but it looked like you had a little bit of help out there. What happened?
Yeah, you know, State Fair brand ballpark Ford was running real good. Can't say enough for Richard Laster and all my guys. And Cosworth Engines, they built me a great power plant for here. And, you know, we got underneath Kevin Harvick out there, and he got a little loose, and I turned underneath him, and Mike Skinner just got me in the back. And I thought I had it safe. I thought it was just going to be a 4-wheel slide. And then Greg Biffle went between me and the wall. And now I know what a top feels like spinning around, because I spun around about 10 times out there and got hit again. And but I'm all right. You know, I had the Hutchins device on today, but just hate it. I mean, I had a hell of a race car today, but we'll get him next week at Bristol.
Very disappointed, Kevin LePage. Alan?
I think Biffle prevented Kevin from hitting that wall. I don't think he had that thing saved. He looks that back on tape. He may rethink that one.
Looks like Harvick's kind of settled in behind Spencer for now.
Well, normally when you get to that point, you start running his line, and you start saying, well, if he's fast up there, maybe to move up there, but it doesn't seem like he wants to do it. Although, like now, right, he'll pick up a little bit of Jimmy's draft right here, but he'll be able to maintain going down the straightaway.
Don't you think it takes race car drivers 2 or 3 years to get comfortable going in the corner and letting that thing drift up right to the outside retaining wall? Don't you think that guys like Harvick with not a lot of experience will continue to try to make that low line work?
Answer that in a second. Aerial views here in Michigan, courtesy of the United States Army and Army of One. Go ahead.
I think he does. You're right, Benny. But I think if he gets to a point where he's forced to run up there, and that's the fast way around, he's going to have to get used to it quick. But yeah, you're right. You see the veterans get up there earlier in these races before you see the guys that, you know, don't have as much experience.
Here he goes.
Harvick finally makes that pass on Jimmy Spencer. Now let's see what kind of line that he runs. He's right in the middle of the racetrack.
I mean, I'm a believer. If you can make the low line work here, that you're going to be a better race car all day long. But there's not many people who can stay down there all day. And like I said, Kevin's got the horsepower to be able to do that. You have to have big power to be able to run down on the bottom like that and pull off the corner.
A big power Harvick's got as far as this NASCAR Busch Series is concerned. Richard Childress Racing entry. Harvick has won, as you saw, 2 out of the last 3 races. He finished 3rd in the other. Their team car that Mike Skinner's driving today. Jeff Purvis took the victory lane at the Pikes Peak race. So Richard Childress Racing has a personal 3-race win streak going in the NASCAR Busch Series. Here's a guy who's done everything but win so far.
And he's going to win, believe me. He has learned some lessons this year. He's with a great team, and he just, I don't know, Benny, this guy seems like he's got his head on his shoulders. I mean, yes, he's made some mistakes, but he keeps coming out swinging.
I talked to Don Miller this morning. Don Miller, who kind of is the general manager of Penske Racing, Penske South, and he was just gushing about what a great young man that Ryan Newman is. He said he's got a bunch of old cars. Don does at his house. Ryan comes over and just works on the old cars, loves to work on old cars, and it's such a pleasure to be around.
Picked up a diploma from Purdue University last week that he earned, finished up while he's been racing full-time this year. Ryan Newman has led all but one lap so far in the Napa Online 250 for the NASCAR Busch Series. We're back to Michigan in a minute. 1,000 feet above the Michigan International Speedway today, the Budweiser.com Airship. Brought to you by Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. Be a beautiful day to be up in the blimp. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Sun is out, despite the menacing weather forecasts we've been seeing all weekend for today. And it's been a beautiful day for Ryan Newman in the O2 car. He's led all but the first lap of this race. Marty Snyder has more on his progress. Marty?
Well, Alan, what a terrific day it's been for Ryan Newman, and we've seen him have a car this good a few times this year. Now, his car's a little bit tight right now, especially in 3 and 4. And here's what Matt Borland wants the team to do. He made a little drawing of the front grille, and he said, you know what, guys? I want you to put a little tape right here on the front grille. That should loosen the car up. So they made the tape patch and a little drawing, said, right here, guys, I want you to put it right there. Sometimes this business is very high-tech, but sometimes a little low-tech technology does well, doesn't it, Benny?
Yes, it does, Wally.
But the problem they're going to have is getting that tape to stick. You know, when you come in, you've got a lot of oil and garbage on that grill, and it's going to be tough to get that tape to stick. We'll have to watch that.
Newman is up by 5.4 seconds on Kevin Harvick. Looking back at a race for 6th place with Jeff Green in the 10 and Jeff Burton in the 9.
This is about 13.5 seconds behind the leader, Ryan Newman. Boy's off the gas a long time in this race mode, isn't he?
Yeah.
Now, qualifying mode, they would almost run this racetrack wide open, but you could tell just how much that Jeff Burton backed off under these racing conditions.
And the reason he's doing that is because he's kind of waiting for the car to stop sliding. When you go in there, you roll off the gas, you drive it down, and you're waiting to say, okay, I think it's going to grip now. Now you get back after the gas.
Putting a lap on Rich Bickle, back in 34th place. Jeff Burton started in the 11th position. He's up to 7th now.
Oh, Jeff Green's up in that very, very high line through the corner. Here we see the 74 of Chad Little and the 21 of Mike Skinner. A battle for 14th. Oh, Skinner. He slid it. Talking about sliding, he drove the car in, and the car slid up the hill.
And that's another situation where in the corner, when a car is very close, the car on the bottom, if they're side by side going through the corner, you lose that air on your spoiler, and it makes the car loose.
Change for 6th.
Now watch that 49 when you get up to him. He's all over the racetrack. He uses every bit of it.
Is that Buddy Parrott spot for Jeff Burton?
I don't know. That was talking about Brian Taylor in the 49 car. His first race here at the Michigan Speedway. There's the black 49 car that they were talking about. He told me this morning, Alan, it took him 18 years to go 40 miles.
What do you mean?
He started racing at the Butler Speedway, a half-mile dirt track, 40 miles from here, and 18 years later, he's racing at MIS.
Matt, how about it?
Well, Benny, he was 13 years old when his father pulled out an old modified that his big brother Bill had raced 5 or 6 or 7 years earlier. They pulled it out of the barn. He won in his second start and won the track championship in his rookie season.
And hey, when you're a rookie driver and it's your first race on a track like this, believe me, it is scary and you're busy. I remember my first Cup race, and I remember my first spotter. He did a lot of talking. Remember who my first spotter was?
No.
I'm really disappointed in you, BP.
Who was it?
A guy named Benny Parsons.
Did I really?
Yeah, in Atlanta, when I was driving for Junie Dunleavy.
Oh, I do remember that.
And you're like, no, don't go. High, no, low. Oh, man.
In other words, you're saying I was not a very good spotter.
You were a great spotter, but I wasn't a very good driver.
Lap 43 has been brought to you by STP Fuel Injector Cleaner. I can't imagine having somebody who's had a microphone in his hand for any amount of time putting on a spotter's headset.
He didn't know which way it was going. I didn't know which way I was going, but it's very intimidating when you're getting your first race, and these guys are passing you on both sides of the car. You know, you're just trying to get experience.
Although I will tell you what's fun sometimes these Winston Cup drivers get out there, you guys in these practice sessions, I've heard Bobby Labonte and Michael Waltrip, among others, do play-by-play while they're on the racetrack back to their crews.
Well, another thing is, when we know there's fresh meat out there, we are going to mess with the guy. Well, that's half the fun.
Brian Tyler in his third NASCAR Busch Series start. He's from Parma, Michigan. He's a veteran of the USAC Open Wheel Series. And he is back in 40th position. Expect to see some pit stops coming up fairly soon for the leaders, so let's take a break here. You're watching NASCAR on TNT.
Back to the Michigan International Speedway. Defending series champion Jeff Green has already made his way to his pit stop for his first scheduled pit stop. They have made a chassis adjustment. The 10-car Green was complaining about being too tight in the center of the corner off. They tried to free him up, and he's down and away.
From 7th place, Jeff Green rejoins the chase as NASCAR on TNT comes to you from the Michigan International Speedway. It's the NASCAR Busch Series NapaOnline.com 250, and we're about a third of the way in. Alan Bestwick here with Benny Parsons, Wally Dallenbach, and our entire NASCAR on TNT crew. And one caution in the race, now a second one. Looking at Mike Harmon, who's come to a stop.
10 loose left.
And Jimmy Johnson was on pit road when the caution flag came out. Is he going to save?
Two very good questions that we'll find out the answer to in a moment. Johnson looks like Johnson is, well, he's behind the pace car. Let's see if they're going to let him go by. Looks like it.
Well, he went by. He didn't wait to ask. He just drove on by.
NASCAR said he could go on by. Jeff Green is behind the pace car. It looks like he's going to get trapped a lap down.
Oh, man.
31st position he's showing.
And that is the problem with coming in early like that. It just seems like it never fails.
That's bad luck. For a guy who could have no bad luck a year ago when he won the Busch Series championship by the largest margin in series history, those kind of good breaks, eventually that law of averages comes back at you.
Well, he changed 4 tires, so he had about an 18-second pit stop. Jimmy Johnson, the 92 car that you saw, he was on his way down pit road when the caution flag came out, so I think he just gassed it and went on pit road. He will be back in for his tires and fuel. But he saved 2 miles by doing that. Jeff Green is 2 miles behind. The 92 car is on the lead lap.
Now, he will be the last car on the lead lap on the restart.
Jeff Green will, yes. He'll be in, when these guys pit, Jeff Green will stay on the race.
Right. Yeah, right.
He'll be tail end of the lead lap. First pit stop's going to come at lap number 50 for the leader, Ryan Newman. Kevin Harvick will follow him in. Then it'll be Spencer, Sawyer, Kenseth, Burton, Raines, Keller, David Green, and Tim Fedewa, who's moved up to 10th spot from 22nd starting position. And we cover pit stops starting with Matt Yoakum.
45 miles per hour. Jimmy Spencer brings the yellow freight Chevy to his stall. Johnny Allen, the car chief, goes to work on the right rear. They are going to make a chassis adjustment. Jimmy was complaining his car was a little snug in the center of the corner. This will be a 4-tire scheduled stop as Kevin Harvick is also in. They are making a 4-tire stop. Let's go to Marty Snyder.
Ryan Newman is in. His car's a little bit tight. They make a wedge adjustment. They also did put the tape on the front grille, and a terrific stop for these guys. They win the race off pit road.
Jeff Burton, great stop. He's going to come out third.
Yeah.
There's a, what is that? A catch can? There's a catch can sitting in the middle of pit road.
There it is.
That's from the 9 car. He will be coming back.
So that great pit stop that they had, all for naught, because he's got to come back down pit road.
Oh, this will be a good shot.
Oh! And there we see it bounce down pit road.
Pit road.
And
At least we can do it now under caution.
So Jeff Burton has been given the bad news that he will have to come in for a stop-and-go penalty. You can't take any of the equipment with you when you leave your pit stall.
Tommy said, well, at least,
Jeff.
At least we can do it on call.
Come in here, stop it, and leave.
Ryan Newman holds the lead through a set of pit stops. We'll come back for the restart in a moment on TNT. Aerial views of the Michigan International Speedway are courtesy of United States Army, an army of one. There are 212 ways to be a soldier. Find out more at GoArmy.com. To pit road, Marty Snyder.
Well, Alan, Jeff Burton's team had a great idea this week. They were going to build a new gas catch can. Bad idea. The probe was a little bit too big. That's what got stuck inside. When they put it in, it got stuck, so they've now filed it down so it won't get stuck anymore. It's a nice little catch can. You can see inside of it and everything. And on the front, it says James Little Gas Buddy. James Dixon is the gas man, and this is no longer his best buddy. I'll tell you that, Alan.
Innovation. How many man hours you think went into building that?
A lot.
Burton's back in 24th place after the stop-and-go penalty. He's the last car behind the pace car. The first car behind the pace car is Jeff Green, who's in 25th and on the tail end of the lead lap. Mike Skinner is trying to move back up through the field, Dave.
Yep, and Alan, he picked up 6 spots on pit road. That will definitely help. The car was actually loose everywhere, and I asked Gil Martin, his crew chief, what he was going to do to change it. And he very nonchalantly said air pressure, which does tell you that air pressure adjustments on these tires do make a big difference. So the car was loose in the corner. I know that Wally commented on him before being very loose through the corners. They're hoping that that slight adjustment will make a difference for Mike Skinner.
None the worse for wear on that right front fender, obviously. He's back up to 6th place. As you look at our pit summary,
Matt Kenseth came in 5th and went out 7th. Was the biggest loser that we see there, losing 2 spots.
The yellow car in front of the leader in that left-hand lane, as you look at it, is Jeff Green. He is on the tail end of the lead lap down. He's basically 2 miles behind the 02 car, and that's Ryan Newman, the race leader.
Oh, Derek Cope, the yellow 94 car on a lap down, moved up right in front of Kenny Wallace.
Leader going to try and put the defending series champion back a lap down while he's being challenged for the top spot by Harvick.
And I don't think the tape on the 02 car lasted very long, not even 2 miles.
Though we can see that the grill is clean on the 02 car.
Harvick led at the start-finish line. He collects those 5 bonus points toward the championship.
And Newman pulled a slide job on Harvick, but Harvick just backed off, turned her left, and drove under Newman to take the lead.
Just behind them, Elton Sawyer has moved up into 4th place.
Battle for the 2nd spot. Jimmy Spencer, the 1 car is going by.
Oh, that 02 car looks awfully tight right there. And see, if they think they made an adjustment. Now he's got to wait another 48, 50 laps because that tape didn't stick, so they didn't fix anything on that car.
Sawyer by Tony Raines. Sawyer in the 98. It's Matt Kenseth in the 17 outside of him. This is 4th, 5th, and 6th as you're listening to Elton Sawyer's spotter.
Inside on your quarter, inside. Still down there. Somebody's just sucking up to that 17 car.
Raines in the 33, Skinner in the 21.
Now,
Three wide, shoot down there. So they're inside, clear in the middle, clear in the middle. So down there to 21. So down there, clear low, clear high, clear all around, clear all around. Just suck on back up there. Good job.
usually when you're in the middle going into turn 1, you're the loser, unless you can drive in deeper than the guy on the outside of you.
Mike Skinner tried that bottom line going down in turn 1 and lost the position as he took it 3 wide.
And Elton Sawyer being challenged there by Matt Kenseth. a lot of guys reporting their cars as being tight, which is a very typical thing here on this racetrack.
Yeah, in Michigan, normally that's where the car goes after you run. Go ahead, Benny.
Let's take a look at our Williams virtual garage and we'll show you what tight is. The preferred line on the bottom of the racetrack. You turn the wheel back on the throttle, but it won't turn. The front just slides across the racetrack. That is an exaggerated tight, but that's what we're talking about.
It's not exaggerated when you're driving, though. It's about what it feels like. And that's why these cars are running up high. What they do is they run
lead change.
They'll run down in the corner, and they roll out the throttle, and the car just slides all the way to the wall. They just got to wait for it to stop sliding before they get back on the throttle.
Jeffrey Bodine's got problems. Off the pace.
Oh, burn a piston. Did we lean this down or anything?
So they burned the piston, and they asked if they made it.
Didn't rejet or anything. The only thing they did was take that.
That was Donnie Richardson, the crew chief, talking with Jeffrey. He was in 24th.
They put fuel in it, and they just took that secondary arm off of it where the squirters wasn't working on the secondary.
And still, Sawyer and Kenseth continue to trade fourth lap after lap.
Now Tony Raines is going to try that outside line, the 33 car, and he will go by Elton Sawyer.
Bodine's car is going to make it back around the pit road, so we should be able to stay under green. Ryan Newman has reassumed the top spot from Kevin Harvick here at Michigan. Tomorrow morning at 11 Eastern on TNT, it's Glory's Last Shot. Live final round action at the 83rd PGA Championship from the Atlanta Athletic Club. Championship drama all weekend long on TNT. Ryan Newman is the leader of the Napa Online 250. Here is our Napa race summary. Newman, Kevin Harvick, and Jimmy Spencer are the three drivers who've led. Big story of the day, the first of the two cautions that came out just 6 laps in when Kevin LePage spun in turn number 2 and collected Greg Biffle and Randy LaJoie. Biffle second place in the championship. He's out of the race, and he's going to finish back in 43rd position.
During the break, Marty Snyder informed me that they did make some additional changes to the O2 car. They made a tire adjustment or a tire pressure adjustment as well as a wedge adjustment. So he should be in pretty good shape.
Pretty good race for 6th here.
That was on the 0-2 car of Ryan Newman. We thought maybe the only adjustment had been the piece of tape on the grill, but that blew off immediately.
98 is Elton Sawyer, 57 is Jason Keller, the 00 is Tim Fedewa, the red and white car, the 21, is Mike Skinner. Sawyer has kind of slipped back to this group, and Fedewa and Keller are the two that are on the move here. Fedewa started in 22nd. He's showing an 8th. Keller started back in 24th.
And you can see when those two cars ran side by side up the straightaway, Skinner was about 6 or 7 car lengths back, and look how much ground he made up. By 2 cars running in front of you, you pick up that draft, and it's a big help.
Get up down, don't let it bind you down on the bottom. Going around on him on the outside.
00 Fedewa, he's racing week to week for a job is what he's doing. He lost his ride earlier in the year. He started the season in the 66 car that Jeffrey Bodine's now driving. Jumped into this car for Buckshot Racing. They don't have a sponsor. It's communication from Jason Keller's car.
Alan.
All these drivers are running week to week for their job. Where you been lately? But it's like that every week.
Well, it's a little different when you're like Jason Keller is here and you've got a sponsor for the season versus Tim Fedewa, who's hoping somebody will show up every week to pay the bill so they can go racing next week. Wayne Jessel, part of the Jessel engine part manufacturing firm, paid the bills for him to come to these last couple of races, and he's hoping to find somebody else to keep going for the rest of the season.
Going. You're the man. A little bit too tight right now, Steve. Then go back.
Jason Keller's telling his crew chief Steve Addington that's a little too tight right now.
Keller third in the championship, coming in 203 points behind Kevin Harvick. He's probably going to take over second today if he finishes the race.
That would be my guess.
Jason and I were talking football in the garage the other day. He went to Clemson. But as a Florida State fan, I couldn't let him get away with boasting too much.
I don't want to hear about it.
You don't know anything about football anyway, right?
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Living in North Carolina, we know a lot more about stock cars than we did football.
There you go.
As witnessed by some of the records we have for our teams. Especially when it comes to playing Florida State.
Yeah. U.S. Army Skycam providing our aerial views over the Michigan International Speedway, an army of one. Matt Kenseth running in fifth place, Sawyer in sixth, Keller in seventh.
And right now, you know, as a driver, you're sitting there, and your spotter's helping you too. They're looking at the different lines on the racetrack, and right now all these guys are searching the racetrack to find out where their car is going to work the best. They're going to come back and say, okay, what about that lap? Your crew chief, your spotter's going to say that was a 1/10 of a second quicker. Run that line. But right now, everybody should be looking for where their car runs the best on that racetrack. The track is so wide, there's 3 or 4 lanes, so you just got to keep looking.
Liz Allison has a report on the 57 car, Jason Keller.
Jason Keller has had a big week this week. His kindergartner Joe started kindergarten this week, and Jason and his wife Debbie got to attend the orientation on Monday. But when Tuesday rolled around, only one parent was allowed to go for lunch, and after serious negotiations, Jason won out, and he got to have lunch with his son Joe.
Boy, I hate those little chairs at kindergarten, don't you, Alan?
Hurt your knees.
Hurt your knees when you try to get in those little chairs. So, Jason, we've been there. We know how you feel.
There's a picture I'd like to have, BP. You sitting in a kindergarten chair.
Long time ago.
What?
I was gonna.
Don't stop.
They had schools back then.
Oh. Here's Keller going to try and get sixth away from Sawyer.
Sit, buddy. Just keep digging there, buddy. Keller on the outside. Still there. Still there.
Still listening to Keller's radio communications. Dave?
And Alan, they're still just a tick too tight. I just talked with his crew chief, Steve Addington, and he wanted a little bit more grip on the last pit stop. So they tried to give him that with a wedge adjustment and an air pressure adjustment. But now, even though he's passing cars, still a little bit too tight for Jason.
Still out there.
Problem with these Michigan races for the Busch Series teams, so few caution flags and so few opportunities to adjust these cars. Basically, if this race runs green to the finish, not unheard of here, they're only going to need to stop for a splash of gas, maybe one can, not enough time to give these cars some serious handling help. Just past halfway in the Napa 250 at Michigan. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Our aerial view from the Budweiser.com airship, brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. Busch, the proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series for 20 years. Michigan Speedway, 2 miles around. Fast, driver friendly because it's so wide. Plenty of room to race and also maybe fix a mistake. Unlike some other tracks, it's been very friendly to Ryan Newman today. Been out in front for all but a handful of laps of today's event. Jeff Burton is running in 12th position. Restarted in 23rd, so he's picked his way back up through.
Look at that headrest. Nice headrest, huh?
Yeah, Jeff Burton's been working on developing this for a long time, and there's been a lot of different versions, and there still is a lot of different versions. But it really keeps the driver in, especially the head neck area, even also the shoulder area. Some of them, though, some of them come down like this and are just like that. And the reason he's got that hole there is so he can see. Peripheral vision-wise, you don't want to have that solid because you can't see out the right side. But there's a couple different ways that these guys are doing it. I think Harvick has it something like this way. But either way, it's a lot better than what we've seen in our cars over the years. I mean, we've made a big gain there on the headrests.
This is Hank Parker Jr.'s car. Look at one of the more
and he's got
headrests.
You know, basically, he's just has this little. You can't even see it, but he's got this net. You see where the net is, and that's basically he's doing the same thing. But I feel what Jeff's got, he's got a lot more support.
That's Mike McLaughlin.
Just another net. Another driver using the net. And anything is better than nothing. And there are a few guys that don't have anything, but I feel Jeff Burton's headrest is probably the best. It's got a lot of padding on it, and it's also very strong.
Let's take you through the field, show you where everyone's at. This is Ryan Newman, the leader, Marty.
Well, his car is pretty good, Alan. Obviously, that's the case. They have a very big lead. It starts a little tight, and it gets tighter the longer he runs. So he does slow down a little bit at the end of each run. Now, on the radio, occasionally, he hears the voice of Rusty Wallace. And the last time Rusty piped in, he said, man, you have got a terrific car. Just take care of it. And this is a whole lot more fun than going fishing, isn't it? To Matt Yoakum.
Down here in the Harvick pit, Kevin Hamlin, Kevin Harvick's Winston Cup crew chief is down here conferring with the Busch crew chief, Todd Barrier, just how well this two cars running. Kevin Harvick was complaining his car was tight on the first run. They made an air pressure adjustment in the right front. He hasn't said a word about the car since, but he is the fastest car on the racetrack until that last lap put in by Ryan Newman. In third is Jimmy Spencer, the man who never forgets, is still saying his car is still tight. They made an air pressure, a track bar adjustment on his first stop. They are looking at pitting somewhere around lap 105 to 108. To Marty.
Well, Matt, I think Matt Kenseth's team is even a little surprised at how well they're running. They're up in the 4th spot. Now, this morning, Matt said the car felt a little bit like it felt at Chicago. And last week, he described the Chicago Busch race to me as the worst Busch race he's ever had in his career. So they are very surprised they're running this well. Now, on the last run, they were a little loose. So they came in, they pulled a rubber out of the right rear. Now they're pushing, and Matt said, boy, I wish we still had that spring rubber in the right rear because that would really help us out. They do have a fast car, though. Matt? Let's go to Dave Burns.
Tony Raines is having a great run. He was a little bit tight off turn 4, and they made an adjustment, air pressure and track bar. The one thing that Tony is racing for today is his owner, Bill Baumgartner. He and Bobby are celebrating their 33rd anniversary today. There's your numerology fact for the day. The 21 of Mike Skinner, no word. And the 57 of Jason Keller right now, still running pretty well. Again, Steve Addington telling us just a few moments ago that the car was just a little bit tight, but still runs well when he gets in clean air. And as for Blaze Alexander, he's having a good run as well. I believe he won a ARCA race earlier here this year, so Blaze knows the track, likes it here, and is currently having a really good run. Let's go to Matt.
Elton Sawyer is currently riding in the 8th position. The 98 car is still tight, and it's even tighter on this set of tires. Elton is reporting in. They're hoping for some good luck here in Michigan. In the shadows of the Motor City, where the manufacturers hope for a win on Saturday and Sunday. They have a good luck charm underneath Elton's seat. They actually forgot it back at the shop. The car had already left the shop on the transporter. The team had already left for the airport. They made Elton go by the shop and get a good luck Dale Earnhardt penny that they have had under this seat ever since Atlanta today.
Mike Skinner just radioed in. Unfortunately, when he gets in the gas, which is a lot, it's tight, and so he needs more help off of the corner. That's what he radioed into crew chief Gil Martin. Working in Mike's favor this weekend, crew chief Gil Martin is following him back and forth from the Busch Series garage to the Winston Cup garage. And so between cars, both driver and crew chief are getting assistance.
Caution's out. Shane Hall's car has slowed on the back straightaway, smoke trailing behind it. That's him left of your screen. There it is. And the caution flag is out for the 3rd time in the Napa 250. Big break for some of these guys trying to keep up with Ryan Newman, like Raines and Kenseth and Spencer, who could use the opportunity to make a chassis adjustment.
Also a piece of debris down in the corner that certainly needs to be attended to.
And I'll tell you, Jeff Burton has come up through the field, and he has been one of the fastest cars on the track, so this closes that gap for him as well.
42 laps to go. There's Burton. He's up to 12th place. Remember, he had the catch can hang on the back of his car on the last pit stop and had to go all the way to the back of the line for the restart then.
Give us about a quarter up.
Let's go back and take a look at how we got under this caution.
Shane Hall, the Lance car, looks like the right rear tire is flat. It's coming apart, and as it does, it rips a piece of metal, one of the inner liners out of the car, inner panels, I should say, out of the car, and that was the debris we saw.
Been a tough season for this team. Hensley Racing out of Virginia. All but 2 of their finishes the whole season have been in the 20s or 30s. They've just really struggled, and that's too bad for a team that has won the NASCAR Busch Series championship before. Let's talk about the leader for a minute, Marty.
Well, Benny Parsons has a deal with Ryan Newman's team. If they do a pit stop below 13 seconds, he's going to pay every man doing the pit stop $100 a piece. But Benny, that's small change because Carl owner Roger Penske has said if they do a pit stop under 13 seconds, he'll pay him $1,500 a piece. So, so you better get ready to pay your money, I'm told, down here, Benny.
But you know they'd rather have my money than Roger's money.
I don't know. There's a little difference in amounts there. Matt?
In the middle of your screen, Kevin Harvick is getting serviced by his AC Delco crew. They're working on the right side. The car was a little bit tight, but Kevin doesn't feel like they can really adjust to make the car any better. The car is really good. So they are going to take on 4 tires. He's down and away. Jimmy Spencer is down and away on the bottom of your screen. Now to Marty Snyder.
And your money's safe, Benny. Ryan Newman wins the race off pit road with a terrific stop. He was a little tight. They did make an air pressure adjustment, but it was about a 14.5-second stop. So keep your wallet in your pocket, Parsons.
Thank you very much.
41 laps to go here at Michigan. Under caution, Ryan Newman is the leader of the Napa 250. Getting ready to go back racing in the Napa Online 250 on TNT from the Michigan International Speedway. Ryan Newman's crew pulls off a successful pit stop, but Benny hangs on to his money.
No cash, you know, and how that came about, Matt McSwain was the rear tire changer, and the car chief was just, you know, lipping about how good they were in the pits. And I said, okay, you're so good. We can do it in 11 seconds. Anything under 13, and you get my money. But so far, all my money's safe.
It's okay. All right. Let's go racing. Newman, Harvick, Rains, Spencer, and Skinner, the top 5. 38 laps to go as they cross the stripe.
Harvick got a good restart there. Probably doing a little pushing on Mr. Newman.
Yellow cars, Jeff Green got caught a lap down earlier. He's in 23rd.
The last time on the restart, this is the point that Ryan Newman struggled for a couple of laps. As a matter of fact, Harvick took the lead as he's trying to once again.
Carries some serious speed off into turn 1.
Great shot.
Yeah. Side by side, the 2 red cars. That's Jason Keller, excuse me, Jimmy Johnson in the 92, squeezing in front of Mike Skinner to grab 5th.
Elton Sawyer in the 98 trying to get on the inside of Skinner. He's got a lot of racetrack there, but he just can't get back on that throttle and drive up alongside Skinner because he has so much momentum up on the outside.
Deceiving thing about this racetrack, when you look at it, it's not banked as steeply as others. You look at a Charlotte or an Atlanta, and you look at this one, and it appears they're very similarly banked, but there's 6 degrees less in the banking here than those tracks, and that 6 degrees is big on these cars.
But it's wider, and so you've got more room to slide up that racetrack, and it's also very, very smooth. That makes a big difference.
comes Kerry Earnhardt, the 99 car, into the frame on the very right side of the screen. Oh, and we see Elton Sawyer takes a run and gets by Skinner.
Push you, let him push you.
6th place.
Clear up top, clear all around, clear all around. Good job, all clear, all clear.
Kerry Earnhardt had a flat tire earlier, lost a couple of laps. So he's back in 30th place, although he's hanging right in there with all these cars. See that bright orange and green car? That's Jeff Burton trying to fight his way back through. Burton's in 9th. There's Jason Keller and Matt Kenseth. And the 7 car of Randy LaJoie.
Randy had some radio problems earlier. And see how on the left side of the car, that's where a lot of guys keep their radios, is on the left side of the seat in the driver's. And so when you're sitting there, you can adjust the radio as close to you. Well, all that damage on the left side of the car probably damaged the radio or made a wire loose. Fortunately, they have a blanket that goes in between the seat and the roll bar, which protects the driver from some of that metal coming inside the car if you do get in a wreck like that.
Randy involved in the crash back at lap number 6 that took Greg Biffle and Kevin LePage out of the race.
Now, Randy can hear, but I don't think Randy can talk to anybody, which it's better to hear your guys than it is be able to talk. They've done that to me by design a few times.
I was just say they didn't want to hear from Randy anyway. Seems like Keller and Kenseth have been around each other for about the last 50 laps, doesn't it?
And Blaze Alexander in that 08 car had come up and passed both those cars before the last caution on the pit stop. He's back behind him. Got to do it one more time. Let's go down to Dave Burns for more on Jason Keller.
Well, Benny, Keller should have been well free of Matt Kenseth, but on this last pit stop, as he tries to get by Jeff Burton now, Keller had trouble on pit road. As Tony Raines came in, Raines' front tire carrier swung wide, and Jason had to avoid him. That cost him 6 spots on pit road, and that put him back in the pack.
So Keller takes the 9th spot away from Jeff Burton there, trying to make up some of that lost ground. Laps to go in this one. When we're done with the race, then we go to NASCAR Winston Cup Happy Hour. You will see live coverage here on TNT. One of the drivers getting ready for his final practice is Ricky Rudd. Liz Allison's with him now.
I found Ricky Rudd back here by his RV messing with something a little bit smaller than what he normally races. Ricky, what is this?
Well, it's a little remote control truck. It's kind of gotten out of hand. One of those deals that start off as a toy, and the real big race, you know, the big Winston Cup race is tomorrow, but I think you'll have more guys competing harder tonight. They'll have a little race out here. MRO, the Bible Club here, puts on a little race, and so getting ready for tonight's race.
So how have you done with this little championship here after the garage closes?
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
How many of these little races have you won after the garage closes?
I'm okay. Our crew chief, Fatback Swain, he's the king of this stuff, so I'm working on my stuff, trying to get ready so I can beat him tonight. He's kind of like the champ. We got our work cut out for us.
Hey, Ricky's having some fun back here, Alan.
These guys are having some fun racing pretty hard, too.
Tim Feeder with a 00. Where did he come from? All of a sudden, he just drives up the side of these cars.
Remember, Fedewa had driven up into the top 10, then lost some spots there just before the pit stop and on pit road.
And all of a sudden, all these cars are getting by Jeff Burton all of a sudden.
Here comes Blaze Alexander to Burton's inside. '08 car Alexander from Montoursville, Pennsylvania, won the ARCA race back here in July. He's been a regular on this series for a couple of years. He was out of a ride this year. Dusted off the family equipment to go run some ARCA races, and now he's got a shot here at Michigan in a Dave Carroll-owned race car. 29 laps to go. Ryan Newman and Kevin Harvick are the top two in the Napa Online 250.
Mike McLaughlin, the MBNA car, right along with him. He's moved himself up to the 8th position. And Ryan Newman, whatever adjustment they made the last time, seems to be working very well. He has pulled out to over a 5-second lead on Kevin Harvick.
Harvick's not even in the frame yet.
Somewhere there.
Wow. There's Harvick, so you see Newman is gone unless we get another caution flag. Of course, we've seen him have his share of bad luck in the late stages of races in the recent past. Another look at the interval. First back to second, and that's third. The orange car, top of the screen, Jimmy Spencer. There's the interval, second to third.
The yellow car, fourth in line, is Jeff Green, a lap down in the 23rd position. Fourth place car, the blue car, bluish-green car of Tony Raines.
Great job for Raines here. His best Michigan finish is a 30th 2 years ago.
Well, if they can keep this thing going for a few more laps, he will beat that finish quite well.
Tony Raines' best Busch Series finish, couple of second place runs. Had a runner-up finish on the short track at South Boston in June of 2000 and also in Richmond in May of this year. We look farther back.
Jeff Burton has been sliding backwards, and it looks like he's picked up a pretty bad push. He's not getting through the center of the corner like he was earlier.
Push when the front end of the car doesn't want to grip. Slides up the racetrack in the corners when you need to be turning left and back in the gas. Blaze Alexander working on Tim Fedewa. Alexander in the 08, Fedewa in the 11, in the 00, 411 spot.
Bird's going to try a different line now. He's been trying the high line. He said, well, let me try the bottom.
David Green just took his car to the garage.
Oh, almost. There was contact between the 9 and the 08.
I don't think the 08 liked that too much.
Yeah, that's a bad place for a payback, too.
We got about 190 miles per hour. It's not time to be playing bumper tag.
I mentioned David Green just took his car to the garage. Kelly Denton, Brian Tyler, Jeffrey Bodine, Mike Harmon, Kevin LePage, and Greg Biffle, the other drivers that are out of the race. Big story of the day is Biffle getting swept up in a wreck at lap 6. We go take a look at that crash that took Greg Biffle out of the race from onboard. Oh, this is the one. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm thinking back. This is Jeff Burton and Blaze Alexander.
Down the start-finish line and down in turn 1 and about 3 wide. And you've always said the guy in the middle is the guy that's hurting.
And Jeff just moved up on him like he figured he was clear.
Coming outside.
Here comes Blaze. Gives him a little shot.
Tire spot there.
And you know, if I was Blaze, I would have done the same thing. That you know, when you're out there driving and a guy puts a slide job on you like that, it makes you mad. So the only thing you got on your mind now is letting him know that you didn't appreciate that move.
I'll tell you what, Jeff Burton, as badly as his car is handling, is doing a good job to stay up there with these cars.
It's in 13th place right now.
And he's trying everything he can, every line, every different place around the racetrack, trying to find some place that his car feels halfway decent.
And that's where a guy with Jeff's experience, it really pays off in the Busch Series, because Jeff is going to be searching for that spot, and he will find it.
$19 laps to go in the race, and we'll take our final commercial break. Ryan Newman is out in front of Kevin Harvick. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. 15 laps to go in the NapaOnline.com 250. Ryan Newman is out in front. He has dominated the race so far, and he's got a 7.5-second lead on Kevin Harvick.
He's just driving away from Kevin Harvick right now, and Harvick has a 2.5 on Jimmy Spencer back in 3rd spot.
Coming up next here on TNT, coverage of NASCAR Winston Cup Happy Hour. Final preparations for tomorrow's Pepsi 400. You'll see it live.
Meanwhile, Jeff Green, the 10 car, last year's NASCAR Busch Series champion, the last couple of laps has really been struggling. Matt, what's going on with Green?
BP, I just spoke with Harold Holley, Jeff Green's crew chief. He said something's amiss in the motor area, possibly a rocker arm. We told you at the beginning of the show that this has not been a great place for Jeff Green. His best finish here is 14th. He's not going to better that today, struggling with engine problems.
Got a good hole behind this next car.
Caution is out. Debris on the racetrack. Caution for debris on the racetrack. 4th one of the race. And Kevin Harvick gets another chance.
Now then, Wally, now then, do we pit and get fresh tires? Going to be about 10 laps to go, and they throw the green flag. 21 cars in the lead lap.
No, I don't.
I think if I'm one of the guys in the back, I do.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, if you're 15th and 21st, I think you do try to pit and change tires. But I agree with you. I don't think that Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, any of these cars will make a pit stop.
I'm Jeff Burton. I'm down pit road getting 4 fresh tires. I'm in 12th place. I'm not running for points.
And I'm struggling. I can't get the car to turn, so I need to get in and do something.
We'll take a break here. We'll come back, see if anyone makes a pit stop, and then we'll have the finish for you of the Napa 250 at Michigan. In Michigan, the 16th place car was the first one to pit. Ryan Newman, the other leader, stayed out. Even Jeff Burton stayed out on the racetrack. Surprised me. Ryan Newman almost had his first NASCAR Busch Series win. Well, he had a chance at his first NASCAR Busch Series win about a month ago in Chicago. Final laps of the race, he's chasing Jimmy Johnson. He's got fresher tires, and he ran up and misjudged the back of Mike McLaughlin's lap car. McLaughlin all the way down out of the way. Newman just misjudged it. Ran into him, tore his fender up, cut his tire down. He wound up finishing well back in the field. Today he has the advantage of not having to chase someone in front of him.
They're all chasing him today, yes.
And it's a much wider racetrack, too. Chicago is a lot narrower groove than you have here at Michigan.
Let's go to Liz Allison.
I'm with Robin Pemberton, Rusty Wallace's crew chief. Robin, doing a little double duty today?
No, I'm just very interested. You know, there are teammates out there, and all the guys that got the radios on down there. We got guys watching TV. Rusty's probably over in the bus watching it on TV, and you know, we're proud of that whole crowd. Matt Borland and all those guys. Nice young team, and they're good. They're really good. They're going to be contenders, and you know, we're pulling for them.
Let's go to Marty. Who's with that young team?
And that would be Matt Borland, the crew chief for this very young team, Liz. And they're a little nervous right now, to be honest with you. And I think Matt is going to call the restart here for Ryan Newman as he goes out to talk to a NASCAR Busch Series official. They are reminding him on the radio about that Chicago incident that we just saw. And I know you're reminding about Chicago because you don't want to see a repeat of Chicago.
Yeah, we definitely don't want that. But he's doing a real good job. And main thing is getting experience, and he's done a great job.
That's the goal, experience.
That's right, just experience.
They keep telling him that on the radio. That's the goal today, just experience. Win the race if you can. Matt?
Todd Barriers, Kevin Harvick's crew chief. You've got a fast rookie with a very fast race car in front of you. You're running second. Anything you can do to get around him?
I'll tell you what, Matt, this Delco Monte Carlo has been good all day. We've made a few minor air pressure adjustments, but this last stop, he said it couldn't make it a whole lot better. So, but you know, Kevin Harvick on the restarts too. He's pretty hard to beat. But also we got Spencer behind us, so who's pretty tough too. So this ought to be exciting last 10 laps.
He's looking through the windshield and in the mirror, Dave.
Tony Liberati, crew chief for the 92 of Jimmy Johnson. Any chance you might get a free pass up to the front? You radioed it might get exciting up there.
Yeah, it's going to get exciting. This is a heck of a day for us. We're not looking for a free pass. We want to race to get up to the front. We'll just see what happens. Hopefully we'll have a good restart here, and everything will be good, and we'll just come home in about 5th, 4th. You know, we're going to try, but we'll just see what happens. The eccentric Monte Carlo is running real good. Had an excellent pit stop. Excellent pit stop. I think we'll be good.
Everyone was going to watch the 0-2 and the 2, including Jimmy Johnson.
10 to go. Harvick trying to hug the bottom.
He's trying to find the shortest way around this racetrack possible. Anything to try to get up close to the 0-2 car. Nothing is working.
2 and 3 wide behind them. Lap cars mixed in and among the lead lap machines who are racing for final finishing positions.
There's Spencer, Tony Raines. There goes Jimmy Johnson, the 5th place car.
Drivers who stopped for tires under the caution: Kevin Grubb, Ron Hornaday, Jay Sauter, Larry Foyt. They're all back in 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th spots. We'll see if they make any progress in these final laps on the fresher rubber. Skinner and Sawyer for 8th.
Well, someone came awfully close to that wall off turn 4.
It's Skinner. He's up on Kenseth now. That's for 7th. And by.
Elton Sawyer, the 98 car, trying to get alongside Matt Kenseth. That's Kenseth, the blue 17.
Robin and Rusty watching their team car. Ryan Newman lead this race. And also getting ready for happy hour that comes up next here on TNT.
Oh, Kenseth about to lose a spot. Oh!
You're up top. Good job.
Contact between a
focus on that
0-0.
21. Tuck on up there, man. Clear all around, all clear.
Sawyer to 8th. Jeff Green is off the pace. He's just been black flagged.
Oh, black flag me first.
Defending series champion will have to go to pit road with 7 laps to go.
Yeah, it's about to blow up. That sounds like a 2-cylinder tractor, doesn't it?
The best thing Ryan can do right now, reach up and move that mirror so you can't see what's behind you. He needs to concentrate what's in front of him, not worry about that 2 car of Harvick behind him, and just keep doing what you're doing all day long.
Tony Raines was alongside Jimmy Spencer down at turn 1. But Spencer had that outside line, kept his momentum. Here comes Raines once again.
Still there.
It's got him.
And Tony Raines moving to that 3rd spot.
Remember, Tony Raines' best ever Michigan finish was a 30th place run. A couple of years ago, he's had a terrific day today. Spencer started on the pole, led the first lap, has not led again since. Behind them, Jimmy Johnson holds down 5th. Mike McLaughlin is 6th. Mike Skinner is 7th. Elton Sawyer's 8th. Jason Keller has just passed Tim Fedewa and Matt Kenseth to move to 9th.
Forward. Keep digging, baby. 4 laps. 4 to go.
.02 car Ryan Newman still has about a 1-second lead on Kevin Harvick.
Jeff Green's car has just been taken behind the wall. done for the day. Best news for Ryan Newman after that flashback we saw a little while ago. No lap traffic ahead of him. Clear racetrack. He's got about a mile before he'll catch any traffic. Oh, Spencer. He was fourth.
You don't suppose he can run out of fuel, do you?
Matt, what happened?
Johnny Allen told me, Jimmy came on the radio and said something is wrong with the engine on the one car. It just broke.
Oh, man. That's too bad. Jimmy had a great run going.
This close to the end. Fourth spot.
So that moves Johnson to fourth, McLaughlin to fifth. Well behind these two, and Harvick at this point pretty much going to have to settle for a good points day.
And it will be a very good points day.
Greg Biffle out at lap 5 with a crash. He's going to finish 43rd. Look at this race. Alexander, Burton, Kenseth, and Grubb.
Keep digging. Keep digging.
Remember, Grubb in the 37, one of the guys who stopped and got fresh tires under the caution.
They're behind the 9 if you want it. All clear.
This is for 10th place.
Coming on high side. Didn't make it. All clear.
And the white flag is up. We're on the final lap. Ryan Newman, 23-year-old out of South Bend, Indiana, in his 9th start in the NASCAR Busch Series. He led 84 laps in his last Busch Series race at Chicago. He finished 26th after the late race crash we showed you. Here today in Michigan, he's going to get it done. Newman dominates and wins the Napa 250.
Good job, everybody. It's awesome. Good job.
Kevin Harvick gets second, Tony Raines third, Jimmy Johnson fourth, Mike McLaughlin gets the top 5. And Greg Biffle finishes in 43rd position. 15th different winner in 23 races this season, and the 4th driver to get his first Busch Series win in 2001, Ryan Newman. Matt? Or Marty, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm afraid to jump in here, Alan. Matt Borland just got an entire cooler of water and ice dumped on him. And Matt, yeah, that's the kind of experience you wanted right there.
That's right. That's a good experience. This All-Tel Ford team did great today. I mean, Ryan did a great job driving. The guys had great pit stops. Car's been good all weekend. Couldn't ask for anything more.
Were you worried at all at the end he was having flashbacks to Chicago when he clearly had the best car and didn't win?
No, definitely not.
All right, Matt Borland and this team head to victory lane. You know, he won in his 2nd career ARCA start. As you said, Alan, this is his 9th career NASCAR Busch Series start, and they make it to victory lane, and the burnout begins on the front stretch.
He lets go of that brake pedal. It's going to hurt.
That is pretty good. He's got it pointed to the wall, BP, and he's standing on it.
I just hope his foot doesn't slip off the brakes.
So does the flagger.
Yeah, exactly.
And the fans love it too.
That's a pretty good burnout.
Now, he has no idea how to get to victory lane.
I believe his right rear tire is flat.
If it's not, it should be.
Yeah, I believe it's right.
There's what's left of it right there. We'll talk to the winner, Ryan Newman, when we come back to Michigan in a minute. Newman has won the Napa Online 250 for the NASCAR Busch Series. Ryan Newman did, in fact, burn through his right rear tire, and he's got a flat, and he has no idea how to find victory lane.
That's a good problem to have.
Yes, that's right.
What about it, Marty?
Hey, guys, he had no clue as he finally has found victory lane. And you know what? The crew didn't know either. They had to ask Rusty Wallace's crew members who were in the pit with him where it was. And they've been to victory lane a few times here as he finally makes his way into victory lane. And who's there to greet him? Rusty Wallace.
It's our MBNA Winner's Circle interview. As Ryan Newman starts to get unhooked, it is Dave Burns who will do the honors today. Mr. Burns.
And Alan, prodigy equals pressure. When this young man was tapped by Roger Penske to be the next driver in his stable, there was a lot of pressure put on him coming from the open wheel ranks. No one knew if he could drive a stock car the same way. And ever since he started, Roger's been giving him all kinds of good equipment to get the job done. As you mentioned, he fell out at Chicago, finished 26th that day. We had to talk to him about disappointment as he now gets his shower, his first shower as a NASCAR Busch Series winner. And Ryan, come on out here and do some celebrating for the fans. You earned it, buddy. There he is. And the crew told him, Ryan, don't jump on the roof. NASCAR wouldn't like that. They still need to check it out. And that's the kind of non-drinkable shower you like to get, man. Last time we were talking to you, big disappointment. How do you feel now?
Definitely great. My crew chief, Matt Bourne, did an awesome job. Got to thank the people at Alltel, Don Miller, Roger Penske, Rusty Wallace. Just so many people to thank. We had a great car all day today, flawless. Pit stops were excellent. Just a great day for us here at Michigan.
What were you thinking the last few laps when it was all up to you just to bring the thing home?
I think Harvick was a little better than me on the start of a run. I think, you know, he got that lead there when I was fighting a 10 car, and he let me go when I was coming up at him after about 5 laps, so I knew 10-lap shootout it was going to be kind of tough, and he hung with me there for a while. I think we were definitely a little bit better than him all day, though.
What about that vertical burnout? Do we have a name for that victory burnout?
I watched what Jeff did at Watkins Glen last week, and I figured if he can do that, I can maybe try to do one better, and hopefully we did.
Was the goal to reach the wall? Was that what you were trying to do?
Nah, just keeping it there and trying to burn them off, that's all.
All right, hey, big congratulations from Robin Pemberton and Rusty Wallace.
Nothing left them high.
Rusty, what do you think of this guy?
Real proud of him. These guys got their heads together, doing a great job. They're focusing, and whole team effort. Had a good motor today, and their last pit stop was real key, so they did really good.
Rusty, did you have a conversation with Ryan after Chicago, after the disappointment when he lost earlier this year?
No, these guys are real smart guys. They don't need me talking to them. They know what they're doing.
Ryan, what about how much has Rusty's involvement with you helped?
Definitely a ton. I mean, Rusty's got some wins here at Michigan, and we, you know, just do a lot of stuff together, talk a lot, learn about, you know, the way he drives, the way I drive, compare and see what we can do to make the best drivers that we can be.
You know what time it is now?
I don't know.
Time to go celebrate. Go do it.
All right. Thank you.
Ryan Newman, your winner here today, Alan.
In just his 9th start. There's Matt Borland, the crew chief, on the right. And congratulations to Ryan. Picked up his Purdue diploma and his first Busch Series win.
The burnout gets a 10 in my book.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. That was the best.
Of course, now they got to clean it up so they can have happy hour for the Winston Cup
Which
cars.
is why it makes it so good.
We'll take a break here, come back and talk with some of the other top finishers, give you the full field results, championship standings, plus happy hour. Stick around on TNT. Race, Ryan Newman scoring a win, 94th driver to get a Busch Series victory in the division's history. Kevin Harvick with his 10th top 4 finish in the last dozen races.
Great run for Tony Raines. Jimmy Johnson and Mike McLaughlin brings home a 5th place finish.
That's Mike's first top 5 since his Talladega win back the end of April.
Blaze Alexander will finish in the 11th spot. Kenseth, Grubb, Ron Hornaday back in the 11th car for the rest of the year is 14th.
Lead lap finish for Larry Foyt. Yeah. Mike, that's good.
Yes, that's a really good start to his career.
Kind of a tough day for LaJoie. Got caught up in the big wreck on lap 6. Tore off the left side of his car. He soldiered on to the finish. Kerry Earnhardt, an early flat tire.
Check out 31 through 40. We see Jimmy Spencer with his late race engine problem. Finishes 31st. A.J. Alsop, Randy Tolsma. Jeff Green will finish back in 36th. A bad day for the guys in the top 5 in the point standings, for some of them anyway.
Most notably, Greg Biffle. 43rd. First one out of the race. Ouch, that hurts. Let's hear from some of the other top finishers in today's race. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Kevin Harvick is the king of the burnouts. How would you rate Ryan Newman's?
He did a pretty good job. There was a lot of rubber out there. They had to take the sweep truck out there, so he did better than Jeff Gordon on his first try.
Well, how would you rate your run today? You had a great race car.
It really was. We could beat Ryan, but we just couldn't beat Roger down the straightaway. That thing had a heck of a motor in that all-tail car. But good day for us in the points. AC Deco guys did a heck of a job in the pits, and we just got to keep doing that. I mean, you're not going to be able to win every week, and we understand that. And some weeks people are going to be better, and today we had a second-place car.
Kevin Harvick, second place. A great points day for the driver who's trying to win the championship in the Busch Series and finish top 10 in Winston Cup points.
Well, here's a man who's turned around his Michigan program, Matt. Tony Raines, before today, 30th was your best finish here. Third today. That's pretty cool.
That's a big jump. Big hand to the crew guys. They did an awesome job in the pits. Got the Elite car out in the top 5 on pit stops. And I'd like to say a special thanks to Bill and Bobby Baumgartner. They're celebrating their 33rd anniversary today. So he was really hoping for a win, and third was as close as I could get. But it was a good day for the whole crew.
This team really needed this, Tony, because you guys haven't finished in the top 10 since Milwaukee.
We've been on a dry spell. The last 4 races, we had a couple mechanical failures and one bad race at Pikes Peak. But this is a good team, a good cars, a good crew, and great sponsor with Bayer. And there's more of these coming.
Combine that with a talented driver, and you get a third-place finish at Michigan, Matt.
A fourth place for Jimmy Johnson. You just needed some clean track, Jimmy.
Yeah, we in qualifying drove off into 1 in the front end, the Springs coil bound, and it turned sideways. And I really thought we had a shot at the pole, but we didn't. We ended up 26, had to come from the back. Then we were caught on pit road when the caution was coming out, and luckily beat the leader out of the pits, and I had to come from the back again. But I just had awesome pit stops from the guys on the Excedrin Monte Carlo, and great engine with Fisher engines. Just a good, solid day, good points. We needed to beat the 33 to gain a little more on him, but everybody else we were racing finished behind us.
Another good top 5 for the Chicago winner here in Michigan, Liz.
Jimmy Spencer, you were running third when your engine let go today. Some pretty rotten luck, huh?
It really was, Liz. You know, no warning at all. It started just missed right there. Then I thought I'd hang on, and it wouldn't hang on. We were dropping back, and it finally just broke all together. But you know, Ryan Newman drove a great race. He had a great car. We were about third best car. Harvick had a real good car. And, the yellow Chevrolet wasn't what it needed to be today, but we would have liked to have a top 5. But oh well, we got to wait for Bristol next week.
You talked yesterday about how the race today could help you in the Winston Cup race on Sunday. What did you learn?
Well, the tires are just phenomenal. You know, you just keep right on running, just like on the last caution with 10 or 12 laps to go. I think we had like 30 laps on the tires, and they're just as fast as if you put new ones on almost, within reason. And also that the track stayed pretty tight. You know, the track didn't get real free like normally. So I think tomorrow, you know, I think the track's going to be really, really fast simply because of the conditions today are the same as going to be tomorrow for Sunday's race. So learned that the tires are great. The track is going to have a lot of speed in it, so the fans will see a great race.
Well, you've got to get ready for happy hour. So, Marty, let's send it to you.
All right, Liz, let's talk to Mike McLaughlin, who worked hard today. Started 20th, finished 5th, but a good run for you guys.
It was a good day. You know, we haven't been in the top 5 in a little while. Happy for me and everybody back in the shop. Been working hard, building us better cars. Got a good group of people, Joe Gibbs Racing, and just happy to come home today in top 5.
This has always been a great racetrack for you. You've finished 5 top 15s in your 6 races here. But today it seemed like your car was more consistent when everybody else would kind of fall off.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, I think, fought tight. We'd start off pretty loose, neutral, then tight.
That's good.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people, I think, would start off good because they'd leave me on the restart, but then they'd get big-time tight, and then I'd run them back down. So, you know, on an average, I guess we had a pretty decent car.
All right, a great run from Mike McLaughlin and these guys. They come home 5th. Let's go to Dave Burns.
Well, the man who finished 10th is getting ready for his second day job today. That's Jeff Burton getting in the 99 Citgo car. Now, Jeff, I understand it was a little bit of a handful for you today in the gain car?
Yeah, you know, you have days like that. My car was real loose getting in, then it was really tight in the middle, and then again it would spin the rear wheels getting off the corner, so didn't drive very well. I thought I had a great day because I really drove the wheels off of it, but we just didn't have what we needed. Some days the car is great and I don't do a good job, and vice versa. We had great pit stops, and thank God for Roush engines, because that thing would go down the straightaway, and if we hadn't had that, we would have been in trouble.
All right, well, they hope they can fix some things from this morning. They were 40th in morning practice, so they're going to work. Jeff already worked hard driving the Busch race. He's going to work hard in final practice. Alan?
Happy hour coming up next on TNT. First, we wrap up our coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series race with a look at the championship standings. Greg Biffle lost 141 points today. Ouch.
Jason Keller will go into the second spot. Jeff Green back to fourth.
And the Busch Series heading off to Bristol next Friday night. Ryan Newman with his first NASCAR Busch Series win. He outruns Kevin Harvick to the checkered flag here in the NapaOnline.com 250 at Michigan International Speedway. One of the best burnouts we've seen in a long time. These guys are getting good at this stuff. Happy hours next. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Stay with us. Final preparations for tomorrow's Winston Cup Series race on the way on TNT as Ryan Newman celebrates a win.